Oh my god! I was about to upload this video, so this will be at the beginning of it. Remember when I did the video about how Nelson didn't do a Thanksgiving video this year? Went silent. Yes! They are still watching. From the Church News. 1 year after #GiveThanks, church members express gratitude again for a prophetic invitation. There's the healing power of gratitude. It's the one that gratitude will cure coronavirus. 12 million views. YouTube aiding and abetting in medical misinformation. Oh, that is hilarious. Oh. Oh, what a joke. Travis Wingate, so back for the day. I came home to find this at my door. Fools rush in. I didn't get it for Matthew Perry. I got it for Selma. It's if you don't know, it's a chick flick. After the abandonment of the first ex and the taking away, because it's not a crime to take away kids from a spouse or the parent, and leaving the country. No divorce, no separation, just took off. Got it up in Canada, where I don't need to be present, apparently. Oh, Canada, huh? But, yeah, all of a sudden, my heart started sweating because I related to certain movies, chick flicks. So, yeah, when, well, I already had the story of Beth that caused me to break down during Aladdin, as I did that video earlier today. And YouTube, oh dear God, the one channel, they were not wanting to let it on. They were purposely denying the processing. And that's the Mormon anthropology, that's science. Dear God, such hate among Mormons. And that's what today's theme is all about. Because it's the prophets who incite this in Mormons to be such bad, evil, hateful people, and to attack anybody who dares to molest or make afraid. Guess what's coming, guys? I'm starting a series. This is the first. Dun dun dun. See, the gloves are off. The prophets have already declared war on me. You know, when you order my assassination and pay for it, yeah, we're in war. You became my enemy because you considered me yours. So there is war. And I will lose if it's a computer war. We went over this already multiple times. And so they love to cheat because they cannot defend themselves. Legally, nope, can't defend themselves. I mean, they have to buy the judges off with number 10. That's this video, number 10. But yeah, they have to cheat in order to protect themselves. They have to lie, commit crimes, steal, destroy. They cannot be honest in all their dealings. Is that number 12? We're getting to it. It's a series. And so, yes, my weapon, the Book of Mormon. So yes, today I'm starting the series with this video on exposing the temple rituals of the current church. On my Restoring Joseph Smith's Church of Christ channel, I'm just restoring the correct temple rituals. I already did that video. It's already on that channel. Yeah, no, here on these two channels, no. You want war, you got it. And it's blood in AC/DC song, but same thing. In war, there's blood. And I'll probably prick my finger on the corner someday and shed blood. But it's interesting how TWG, I have all boys in the younger category than mine. So I'm like your big brother. Except that you're the ones who put down the most thumbs down. So you're not listening to your big brother, are you? And apparently YouTube is unable to keep track of all my viewers. There's just so many of them that I had to go back 90 days to find out that it's all men from the younger category. 100%. But on Travis Wayne Goodsell, it's the Cougars. Hey ladies, what's up? As that was 28 days ago, but they don't know 7 days ago, and there's even less views on that channel, but more thumbs up. And the viewers, the women, listen longer to me. The guys, no, they don't listen, but it's all guys of the younger generation. So weird. I have two different audiences for the two different channels. And so this plays it all in to the story here. As coming back, well, done too, there's the little blonde girl I've talked about before. As last week I did the forgetting it, it's an A word. Anomaly. She was expecting me to say, have a good day, and I shocked her. I said, happy Thanksgiving if I don't see you next week. Well, I saw her this week. And so when she came on the bus, she was not wanting to look me in the eyes, so I took the initiative to do another and said, looks like I get to say happy Thanksgiving again. And so yeah, she did the same thing, lighting up and smiling, and then sat down and left going forward on the bus. So yeah, that's a typical thing here in Utah among Mormon women, is they are completely paranoid and scared to death of guys outside of a singles ward. In a singles ward, they're safe because they can flock together with their sisters. And if you're not familiar with the term sister in the Mormon Church, it's not actual sisters, though there may be a high probability of a genetic connection in our genealogy. Oh, you're my first cousin? Oh, which wife? What is it? If it's a step, isn't it? It'd be stepchildren, stepsisters, and stepbrothers, wouldn't it? Brother from another mother. But coming home, that's where this kicked in. There was another regular, another tiny Hispanic young lady who takes the bus as well. Normally she catches it before I get on, but today she walked all the way down to my bus stop and sat down at the other end of the bench. Still no message. There is somebody hiring, but I saw it in multiple places, so it's not an anomaly. Though it is an anomaly, but it's not. And I saw a pattern of it. And she's pregnant. She's looking very good. And so we got on the bus. She insisted that she had to ask a question, so she had me get on first. And the Nazi bus driver was especially Nazi today. He's still pissed that we're still in a pandemic and that I take a mask for the next bus drive, because it's on my way home. And I knew from the beginning this was going to last forever because of the way everybody disregarded the medical professionals. Are you listening, YouTube? Disregarded the medical professionals. And so he stood guard one day after condemning me for daring to take one. What are you doing? I'm taking a mask. Why? What do you mean why? We're in a pandemic. We need to wear masks. It's mandatory on the bus. And so yeah, he wasn't going to give one to me ever again. Forbade me. And stood guard that day, protecting the masks so that I wouldn't take one. And so yeah, he was extra grumpy and grouchy and kept slamming on the brakes to the stops. Even with a pregnant woman and an elderly woman also on the bus. Dear God, what an ass. So yeah, that's why he's the Nazi bus driver, not the suit Nazi on Friends. So I have the bus Nazi. He hasn't kicked me off the bus though. It's still a 30-minute wait between buses. God. And they claim they're hiring. Oh, why did you lay them all off? Why aren't they coming back? Oh, they're dead? Oh, why? Oh, right, the pandemic. So, yeah, what a mess. But, while in the grocery store, I just finished the bread aisle and then was going up the next aisle, and I got about halfway and I looked up and saw the stars. Not the stars. The stars in the neighborhood, the ward. So they're brother and sister star. Again, don't know Mormonism and why we call each other brother and sister. It goes back to the early days before Constantine, when people were telling records about how the Romans were mocking and picking on those who were Christian. They weren't Christian guys, but they believed in a Messiah, apocalyptic literature, and they would meet together in a congregation, and it would be a love fest, that they would call it, in the translation, I guess. And so the Romans were picking on them, saying, "Oh, you meet together and you call yourselves brother and sister, and you're having a love fest? Ha ha ha." See, it's not just our generation. Have you not read your Old Testament? and the apocalyptic messiahs would respond by saying, "Well, you guys go to the temples to prostitute yourselves with the temple prostitutes, for which they then get pregnant and raise the baby in the temple to be the future prostitutes that you then go and have sex with." So brother and sister sex versus father-daughter sex. Yay! Weren't those times just great? Don't you wish you were living in those times? Not like our times today. Mankind just doesn't change. So, yeah, I saw the stars, brother and sister star, as they were looking away from me. And you know that, women, because guys like me are the ones who are trying to look away so that you don't notice that I was staring at you. But that's for a different reason. I'm shy. It's for a different purpose. The stars, however, knew me back when Bishop Hammond laid down the hammer and said, "Stop publishing that Joseph Smith is a translator. Why are you bothering to come to church? Oh, you're extorting my church attendance to denounce Joseph Smith, the founder of our church." "Oh, no, I didn't say that. You're taking the word." Excuse me, I got the emails. You know it, I know it. I called you King Noah, as I referred to myself as Abinadi. I know all about it. I haven't forgotten. And so, yes, as criminal Mormons do, they have to lie, cheat, deceive, commit crime in order to defend themselves. So, yeah, he has these things called bishopric council meetings. Spread the word, stay away from Travis. He's crazy. Doesn't know his scriptures. He's twisting the scriptures. Oh! So that's how you're going to claim Joseph Smith is not a translator. That I'm twisting the scriptures. Okay. And so, yeah. So the stars, yeah, they were in on it. He was the mission leader. As one of my, I think I got up to 7 or was it 9 callings at one time. See, that's what they do to you when you're low-life scum. They give you all the grunt work. So yeah, I had a lot of callings, but they were the grunt work. The church leaders do not want me in leadership here in Utah. Spider senses tingle. And despite my being an influence in every single one of your lives, I've gone over those videos, and they don't want me to have attention and influence. It's beyond what I've already done to you. And so Brother Star came over with a member of the Stake Presidency Council, not councilman, or was it? I think it was. Yeah, it was. It was a member of the High Council. It was Brother Jones, whose wife is suppressed because she wants to study Egyptian, but she can't because that's forbidden in the church, even though we have the Book of Abraham and the Book of Joseph, which the prophets refused to translate, let alone finish the Book of Abraham. So it was up to me, and they want me dead. And so yeah, she has to keep it a secret that she's into studying Egyptian. This is what the church does to Mormons. And so he comes over. He doesn't want to hear my side of the story. He's talking to me about all these things that he was not present for. So that's how I know they were told in council about me. And he was just condemning me the whole time. So I gave it back to him. And they left. And he never came back again. As they saw me, kept on going, went down another aisle, and left. They just left. They were gone. I didn't see them. I looked, didn't see them. It's like the ghost of Christmas past. They were gone. And again, this is what the prophets do to Mormons. This is how Mormons really are. If you do not conform and comply, you are the enemy. And they do all in their power to hurt you, to harm you, to do wrong by you. And they see themselves as the good guys. That's how twisted it is. That's how the spiritual witness cycle is so dangerous and deadly. As I experience this cycle of abuse by Mormons regularly, since I've moved to Utah, I know what I'm talking about. I know the Mormons. And they are not Mormon. At least not Joseph Smith's Mormons. So, apparently Amazon is having some trouble, as this just barely made it today, when it was in Salt Lake ever since Sunday. Didn't make it to the West Jordan location. And the other one I had still stuck in Arizona. And the other orders I've placed since then are coming by the Postal Service. So apparently we're still in this thing called a pandemic. As even Amazon, which thrived last year because everybody stayed home, ordered from Amazon. Oops! Just as the medical professionals warned, if you don't get it under control immediately, we are going to be able to predict, because we have seen this in other kinds of illnesses. It's the same pattern, even though this is a different virus. They warned us. They told us. We're most likely going to have multiple shots. Oh, we're now up to 3 to be fully vaccinated. Yep, just like they told us. And if we keep going, then 4, then 5, then 6, until, like they warned, hey, there'll be a mutant that'll be immune to the vaccines, and we'll have to start all over again. And they keep threatening, but Delta apparently is doing quite well on its own without the extra mutant strains. We had Lambda that came and went, and then there was Mu, that was showing to be immune to vaccines, and that's apparently gone. The Deseret News yesterday, or this morning, they were talking about the speculation of a mutant strain that everybody's keeping an eye on. But we were warned that this would happen. We were warned that if we didn't take care of it, we would, of necessity, be forced in a situation where deaths will continue, hospitalizations will continue, and then eventually businesses will not have employees, and thus products will not be able to get to the stores. We were warned from the very beginning, and these are the consequences of not listening to them. Remember YouTube? You're helping to aid and abet those who are spreading misinformation and disinformation and punishing guys like me who are telling the truth. Take down the strike. Well, a warning, technically. And I still have one on TWG. They won't take that one down. It's supposed to disappear after 90 days. Nope. It's been over a year. They're full of it. Then they come out, oh, we're clarifying what we mean by this. Five thumbs down on TWG from the boys below. 100% 5. Right from the very beginning. I had just barely finished on Travis Wayne Goodsell, and 5. This is what the church does to the Mormons. Dear God. And so, what is the source that incites Mormons to such hatred, such violence, such anger in their emotional response? Or it's called triggered these days. It's the Temple Recommend Questions. Yes, we're going to go over the temple rituals currently practiced. So first, we do need to introduce you to where the prophets get this from. It's from the Book of Mormon, guys. You know, they adhere to the Book of Mormon in following their temple rituals in accordance with the keystone on the Salt Lake Temple of the doors. And so, Helaman, chapter 6, starting in verse 22. And it came to pass that they did have their signs, yea, their secret signs, yea, and their secret words, and this that they might distinguish a brother who had entered into the covenant, or as Nelson calls it, the covenant path, that whatsoever wickedness his brother should do, he should not be injured by his brother, nor by those who did belong to this band. Babylon band. Oh, Nelson, you're hilarious. You're the Babylon band. Don't try to fool us. Who had taken this covenant path. And thus they might murder and attempt to assassinate Travis, unsuccessfully so far, and plunder, and steal, and commit whoredoms, and cyber terrorism, and all manner of wickedness, contrary to the laws of the United States of America and the Constitution, and also the laws of their supposed God. It says their God, but clearly they don't believe in their God in order to do this. Their God is a front for the criminal operation that they got going. And so, what about the church? Oh yeah, Joseph. He's the front for the operation. And they even got the wrong God of Joseph's. Jesus. It's like they've never even read the first vision. And here I am, and whosoever of those who belong to their band, born and raised, should reveal unto the world, and to the Attorney General and the courts of Utah and the federal courts in Utah and to the FBI and to the president and to this and to that of their wickedness and their abominations should be tried not according to the laws of their country. Nope. You have a special concentration camp here in Utah. It's a sacred secret. I don't want to tell anybody. But I had over 3,000 views for that. And I think it was around 50 that were positive reviews. They were grateful for my review on that. 3,000. But according to the laws of their wickedness. Again, it's that cycle thing. The spiritual witness says you believe is from God, therefore God gave you the spiritual witness, which you believe is from God, which gave you the spiritual witness, which you believe is from God. So therefore, any anomaly is wicked, and you therefore judge them as wicked. You know, like Danites. Judges. And so this is their whole process for the temple. It's a sacred secret. They don't want you to tell. They don't want you to know. And so I'm going to tell. Again, I've done it before, but we're going to do a series, or at least start the series. The prophets might get pissed and order the cyber attack on me again, and so the internet will be shut down, hacked, apps tampered with. Richard Gere was Lancelot in First Night. And he's instructing a man after challenging the audience to a sword fight to see who can beat him, who can best him in a sword fight. Nobody can. And the crowd's amazed and give him money so that he can live. And this one guy gets up, and apparently he's got a wife, or at least a sweetheart. And he's a big, tall guy, and he thinks he's going to out-muscle him to win. And nope, sword fighting is a little bit different than being a muscle man. And he said, "How did you do that? I want to learn." And so he goes into blah, blah, blah land, and then finishes with, let's make sure I get it quoted as best as memory can give it. You can't care whether you live or die. And so he was unwilling to be the best swordsman as a result, as he went back cowering to his little honey bunny. And so yeah, like I've told you guys before, from R-rated movies, never, ever, 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 if you're the villain, take away everything from the good guy in the story. Oops! Guess the prophets needed to watch a few R-rated movies to learn that one, because they took everything from me. You know, yes, you see stuff behind me. I'm able to communicate with you, but they took what is important in my life away. I have nothing to lose. And so they cannot extort me. And so I can be just a little snot to them. And so yeah, I'll get terrorized and tortured, but I don't care if I live or die, because they took everything from me. Temple recommend questions. This is public. It's not a sacred secret. Nelson even got up and confessed that it's a protection racket. Oops! If only we had a government that would lock up criminals. It's number 10. So number 1, and again, remember, they call it for worthiness. Number 10 for worthiness. What part of the Book of Mormon is that from? Number 1, do you have faith in and a testimony of? Oops! You have one or the other. You can't have both. Because once you have a testimony, your faith is dormant in that thing. It's in the Book of Mormon. All Mormons should, or ex-Mormons even, should have even recognized the wordage that I used. The verbiage, the wordage. And so if you have faith, you don't have a testimony. You just have faith. God, the Eternal Father, notice they don't call him Adam. They don't call him Amen either. His Son, Jesus Christ, and in the Holy Ghost. They so desperately want to be Christian because Christianity has the highest population. And so we're not going to go over each of these per se. Just understand that this is for worthiness. It's not about Joseph Smith and what he was all about. This is not Joseph Smith's gods. Jesus, no. Read your first vision. Pay attention. Google search creeds if you have to. I would recommend the first one, the Nicene Creed. I've lost a lot of Christians on my channel because of that. Do you have a testimony? Oh, not faith in? Of the atonement of Jesus Christ and of his role as your Savior and Redeemer? The answer is no. I have a testimony that he's not. It's not him. He's a fictional character from apocalyptic literature, symbolizing or prophesying in parable form, parable story form, about the future Christ, of whom the Jews are looking forward to. 3. Do you have a testimony, not faith in, the restoration of the gospel of Jesus Christ? No. Again, it's not Jesus' gospel. It goes back to the Egyptians, with Osiris, Set murdering him, and Horus restoring the throne of his father Osiris. That is the gospel. That's the good news. And it has not been restored. It was destroyed with the death of assassination of Joseph. 4. Do you sustain the president of the church? What about voting? Don't we get to vote him to be president as Melchizedek priesthood holders, according to section 107, verse 22? Oh, no, it's sustained. We're no longer allowed to vote. Okay, why do you call it a vote then? President of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, as the prophet, seer, revelator, no translator. Where's translator? Oh where has translator gone? Oh where can I be? 3 minutes until it's done. So yeah, they don't understand that these are science. These are not mystical powers that Mormons cower to. I'm unworthy. We will believe anything you tell us. Please don't deny us exaltation. And that's what it's all about. It's a fear tactic. Those are gifts. And translator is supposed to be one of those, which is why they're science. Not magic. Not just titles to instill fear and awe in Mormons. I mean, first of all, you need to get up at the pulpit of conference and actually demonstrate that you are an actual prophet, seer, and revelator. Kind of helps. You were a little late in the game, Nelson, when you came out in October and finally announced, oh yeah, this is the latter days. Yeah. Well, if it's the latter days, then there are signs in the heavens. Why have you not revealed them to us? You're just saying it's now the latter days, but you're not telling us any about the signs that are going on right now. We're in a tetrad. Again. You know, the tetrad that was first done back in 2014-2015, where 3 Mormon apostles die, and for which Nelson was put in the pole position upon the death of Monson. And Monson came out and said, nope, this isn't the latter days. Nope, nothing to see here. Move along. And so Nelson now comes out and says, now it's the latter days? What about all the signs that have already happened? Are you going to deny the scriptures now? Yeah, that's what they're doing. Why can't anybody see this but me? I just don't understand. And the only person on the earth, not according to Oakes, Oakes came out and said all 15 have to be in agreement for anything to be exercised, authorized. I wonder if he's going to keep that mentality when it's his turn. I am the president. No, I never said it. Oh, it's missing from our video list? I don't know what happened to it. Man, it's been so long, we can't find it. Oh, sorry guys. Never happened. I have it. And I've been using it in my videos. La, 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 la. Just like the one where you gave the Heil Hitler to the Aaronic priesthood choir. And then he does the double Heil Hitler the other day, or the other week. God. If you don't want people to know you're a Nazi, don't give the secret sign. It's pretty simple. So yeah, he hasn't exercised a single key yet. He doesn't demonstrate the fruits of any of those gifts, prophet, seer, revelator, and oh my God, thank God he doesn't mention translator. Let God prevail? It's in the footnote. Because you guys didn't listen to me and make the change. Dear God. And do you sustain members of the first presidency and quorum of the 12 apostles? I noticed they don't have the 70, but they still made the change that I had them make on Wikipedia. You guys are missing out on so much because you don't believe. I sent a letter to the presidency of the 70. The video was titled Letter to the Presidency of the 70. You know, a take on letter to the director of CES director, Jeremy Runnels. And as a result, they changed the Wikipedia page on the 70 and now say that, well, in the event, hypothetically, if there were no prophets to officiate, a 70 could step in, hypothetically speaking. That was me! But notice it's not understood by the prophets. It didn't get to them. And then, do you sustain the other general authorities and local leaders of the church? The answer is no. They're not from the true Christ. And you don't be the villain and get my authority sustaining. I will not sustain unrighteous leadership. Section 121. Many are called, but few are frozen. Number 5. The Lord has said. Oh, you added extra wording to it. That all things are to be done in cleanliness. Yes, cleanliness, purity, whiteness before Him. Doctrine and Covenants, section 42, verse 41. I'm willing to bet there's more to that. Should I take extra time after 45 minutes? I took it the wrong meaning. Wrong. We can go back to 39. For it shall come to pass that which I spake by the mouths of my prophets shall be fulfilled. So pre-Joseph Smith, we're talking scripture, prophets. For I will consecrate of the riches of those who embrace my gospel among the Gentile unto the investment companies? No, of the poor of my people who are of the house of Israel. Oops! You forgot to choose this one. Instead they chose the parable of the talents. Oh my God! And again, though thou shalt not be proud in thy heart, let all thy magic underwear be plain. It's outer garments. Joseph didn't have magic underwear. He didn't do that. That was Brigham. And their beauty, the beauty of the work of thine own hands. So he's talking about garments being plain and beauty, the work of thine own hands, and let all things be done in cleanliness before me. Be clean. Not messy. Boys are messy. Thou shalt not be idle. Lazy. Not an idol worshiper. And he's still talking about the underwear. The outerwear. For he that is idle shall not eat the bread, nor wear the garments of the laborer. So it's being clean. Don't be dirty. Clean your clothes. That's the context. And whosoever among you are sick, and have not faith to be healed. Ooh, don't tell Brigham that. Ooh. That's why he joined the church, for revenge for his wife dying. The church did not heal her, so he was pissed. So yeah, and so here he is, that all things are to be done in cleanliness before him. And so then they ask the question, do you strive to wash your magic underwear on a regular basis? Nope. Do you strive for moral cleanliness? See how they misused that in your thoughts and behavior. Do you obey the law of chastity, which now includes polygamy? We're going to get to that in the series. So, again, wrong scripture to try to justify what they're doing here. And it's a good one. You don't want to be a slut whore or a Babylonian whore of the Babylonian band, right, Nelson? Right? Nelson, where are you? Yoo-hoo! Yoo-hoo! He was so pissed when he saw me at the temple that one day. I was waiting for him to pick up his cards. I couldn't interfere. I couldn't get down to help him. Maybe that's what he was angry about. I don't know. There was only a few cards. But I was waiting for the crowd to pass. Because when Mormons see him, they all flock around him. And he was just an apostle back then. Let's see, where are ya? Wise men say, only fools rush in, but I can't help falling. Fuck, I can't get away with it. Falling in love with you. But you see how he's trapping you guys, because the law of chastity has been changed for polygamy now. And here he's talking about cleanliness, taking scriptures, twisting scriptures. I read the context. It was clear. I didn't twist them. There are other scriptures he could have used for cleanliness, or moral cleanliness. He chose not to use it. They chose that one because they don't know their scriptures. And they didn't have somebody like me edit it. But they're trying to say that you are morally clean in polygamy. Polygamy is a crime. I need to go back over Helaman chapter 6 again. This is what they're doing to Mormons. And it's a subtle thing. But it's all part of the religion. See, here's the temple recommend questions. You first find out about these for your first time going to the temple. And here they are, setting it up for you. And then you go and sit, and you make it to the law of chastity, and they tell you the law of chastity, and you're not allowed to have the documents to study it outside of the temple. You're required to keep going to the temple to indoctrinate it into you. And there it is, polygamy. You see the trap they're setting for Mormons. See how evil they are. 6. Do you follow the teachings of the Church of Jesus Christ? That's a different church. Am I able to find it real quick? I'd probably find it quicker if I did the, because it's not branch offs from Joseph Smith, it's a different name for the picture. Branch offs from Joseph Smith. Listed denominations in the Latter-day Movement. Wise nation, only fools rush in. Here's the Church of Jesus Christ Restored. That was Stanley King in the 1960s. So now that's Brigham Young. Yeah, those are Brigham Young stuff. Come on. What's after Joseph? Seriously? You don't have any from Joseph. Okay, there's one, Sidney Rigdon's. It was the Church of Christ, but then it was changed to the Church of Jesus Christ of the Children of Zion. Apparently he couldn't catch on to Amen, or he didn't have the courage to continue with Amen. William Bickerton had the Church of Jesus Christ. He was a follower of Sidney Rigdon, though. So yeah, those are color-eyed. Strange-eyed. He didn't have the in the front of it. So he kept Brigham's, but changed the first part of it. Seriously? Joseph Smith III. And that's lineage through Brigham Young. I don't know what that is. Godbeites? And it should be this, but no, it's not. Churches upholding polygamy, lineage of Brigham Young. Churches from Smith. Okay. Yeah. Alright, so, oh, wow, this is interesting. Pure Church of Christ, Wycombe Clark in 1831. Guess he lost interest. Independent Church, a guy named Houghton, 1832. Church of Christ, Ezra Booth. Church of Christ, Warren Parrish. Alston Church, Isaac Russell. Church of Christ. Gee, all of them are calling it Church of Christ during Joseph's time. Huh. Why is that? Here we have George M. Hinkle, Church of Jesus Christ, the bride, the Lamb's wife. That's following Christian tradition, in case you didn't know. But he does know. That's interesting. The Supper of the Lamb, the wedding feast. Nelson canceled it, so you don't need to worry about it. Church of Christ, again, my goodness. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Church of Christ that broke off from Joseph Smith. But with Brigham, you got polygamy. Any questions? Again, this further confirms. This is another test to see who broke off from Joseph Smith and continued polygamy, if polygamy was practiced by Joseph. And none of them practiced polygamy. It was only Brigham and his branch-offs. And then there was the strange-eyed which Bennett came in and tricked them into polygamy. So, well, we just had breaking news there. So let's make sure we get this added to my documents. And that's where the picture comes from that I didn't think I'd find quick enough. So, yeah, no, I believe in the teachings of Joseph Smith, the founder. It's that simple. So this current church, even though they're trying to claim yet another branch off, they changed it. Do you follow the teachings of the Church of Jesus Christ in your private and public behavior? Yes, I do YouTube videos. And if you're going, no, Travis, you're contending. Contention is of the devil. Oh, have I got a scripture for you, Mormons? It's a commandment. Doctrine and Covenants, section 18. We can read the context if you want, if you don't trust the one verse. And if you have not faith, hope, and charity, you can do nothing. 20. Contend against no church, save it be the church of the devil. Are you obedient to that, Mormons? Nope. No, you are not. Take upon you the name of Christ. Where do we take upon ourselves the name of Christ? I will be going over it in a future video in this series. The initiatories. And speak the truth in soberness. That's this video. I may not be sober. I occasionally drink a Mountain Dew. In violation of the word of wisdom as added unto through oral tradition. And we're getting to that here. Let's see. With members of your family and others. However, the examples just today that I went over in the beginning are what this is being violated by the Mormons. And on YouTube and all around this valley, to other people, not just me. If you are going to claim to be a Mormon, you don't attack other people. You don't bully them. You don't cyber attack them. You don't destroy their lives. You don't extort them. You don't threaten them. You don't attempt to murder them. And yet, maybe I'll watch that. If I can get this done in an hour, I can upload this and then watch the movie. Okay. Do it for my bedtime movie tonight. But yeah, Mormons are all disobedient. They are unworthy to enter into the temple and participate in the ordinances thereof, with number 6 alone. See how I tied it all together? I am the master teacher. Literally, I am. I taught people how to teach in the church, too. 7. Do you support or promote any teachings, practices, or doctrine contrary to those of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints? Hell yes! Joseph Smith. I promote his teachings, practices, and doctrines, and they are contrary to this church. who use him as a cover and a front for Lucifer. 8. Do you strive to keep the Sabbath day holy? Oh, that Babylonian band practice? Because, as I told you, Sundays I don't go to church. And where did it come from? Why is it on Sunday? The Jews practice it on Saturday. It's because of Constantine. Constantine added Sunday and meant it to be the day of the sun. And so it was supposed to be the new Sabbath day. However, the Neo-Christians under Constantine didn't really like that. They wanted to keep the celebration of the Sabbath on Saturday. And so they conformed and complied to Constantine by having a Sunday worship as well, but kept it. And then over time, some dropped it, and the majority, I think, now drop it. But some still maintain stuff on Saturdays. That's where all that comes from. And so the Jews, why do the Jews have it on the 7th day of the week, Sabbath, which is similar to the Semitic name for 7? Well, Semitic is Babylon. The Jews, the Book of Mormon talks about this, doesn't it? Sort of. It's not real history, is it? But yes, Babylon came and conquered Jerusalem, Judah. At first, they put on Zedekiah on the throne. He was a puppet king. A puppet king from 600 BCE, well, 597 technically. And that's supposed to be the first year, as Lehi is having signs in the heavens dreams that date to 23rd September 2017 and 8 April 2024. That's strange. What's all that about? And so, yes, the Egyptians, every day was a Sabbath day. But it wasn't a Sabbath, it was just a holy day. The temple were opened every single day. They didn't have a calendar of 7 days a week. It was technically 10. And they eventually developed a civil calendar because David added 5 extra days in order for Sister Nut, literal Sister Nut, to give birth to the 5 deities, of whom Osiris and Set were 2, along with their sister wives. And Babylon, as they conquered Assyria just prior to 600, and were very superstitious people. If you've seen Exodus, Gods and Kings, you will see how their form of worship was done. They cut open an animal and then did mystical spiritual witness with the entrails. Yeah, that was the type of practice that the Mesopotamians had. The Egyptians did that much later on, when they became idol worshippers. And they also created a calendar in Babylon for 7 days a week, because the 7th day had the number 7 and was a superstitious number. And so when you look in your Old Testament and you see something that involves 7, guess what? That's an anachronism. And you need to pull it out. So yeah, there was no seventh day of creation. And that's why the Bible authors recognized that it didn't mesh with the first chapter and put it in the second chapter. It's because something's not right here. The linguistic pattern just doesn't match. It's like somebody added this in. Yes, they did. It's because they were influenced by Babylon. And so despite Daniel, the book of Daniel, warning the Jews, hey guys, don't give in to the culture, practices, teachings, doctrines, don't assimilate into the culture of Babylon. Remain separate. Remain Jews from Judah. And they failed, didn't they? So the book was merely an attempt to try to get Jews back to their origins, their roots, because Jews assimilated. And then the Greeks came along after the Persians set them free, and the Jews became Hellenized. And then you have the Romans, as they became Romanized. And this is the context from which the book of Daniel is written, is to try to remind them, hey, I'm not going to use the Greek or the Roman period in which I'm writing in, but I'll remind you about our past of Babylon, how we are supposed to not be like the other cultures of the world. And so, yeah. So the calendar, the language even, and the rituals, and thus the Torah, all became assimilated. We are Borg, resistance is futile, into Babylon, which prophets warn. Babylon is the enemy. And it still carries on in Revelation of John and in the Joseph Smith scriptures. And Nelson, Babylon banned. So yeah, I only adhere to the teachings of Joseph Smith. 7. Do you support or promote any... Oh, yeah, that's the one we did already. 8. Do you strive to... Oh, yeah, that Sabbath day. Every day. And again, if you understand that it's not this, it's get inspiration, a little light bulb, which apparently the power was shut off today as they were doing upgrades on our electricity. I guess they accomplished it. Everything seemed fine when I got back, but you take the light bulb, your idea, your revelation, your inspiration, whatever you want to call it, and you make it happen. You know, if you get an idea for a book, you write the book. You don't keep in this cycle, oh yeah, I had an idea for a book, it's so true, book is awesome, man, it is the best book ever. Where is it? Oh, it's all in my head. Yeah, it is awesome, it is true, it's from God, man. See how ridiculous that is? And yet Mormons do it for the religion. And so yeah, you actually have to write the book. You have to build the boat. Oh wait, there's scriptures about that, isn't there? Dear God, how do Mormons screw up their own doctrine? And so, also another thing to remember, both at home and at church, attend your meetings. So if you don't attend your meetings, you're unworthy for the temple. Uh-oh. That's why there's so many that hang out in the hallway. Because they're still at church. And so the bishop will see them. Oh, hey, bishop. Hey. Prepare for and worthily partake of the sacrament. And that one, I did the videos telling Mormons you can stay at home, and if you have at least the priest, if the husband is unworthy or not there, you can have the priest of the house do the sacrament for you. And technically, you can have the women do it. But again, this is not Joseph's church. It's hilarious. Oaks, are you sure God doesn't want women to have priesthood and office? Oaks, I'm seeing Joseph Smith's papers about Joseph on 17th of March, 1842. What's deacon? Oaks! And so the church then came out after I did my videos to retaliate, to declare, or actually I think I did it in retaliation, to expose, no, the church is wrong. Well, one of the two. It's been so long now. You have to find the video and then see if I mention it. And if I don't mention it, then I was first. The church came out and said, go through your bishop as to how to proceed with the sacrament. And so our outgoing mayor now was the one who called Russ. I was no longer in it, and that's how I found out that that's what they were doing. And I had already told Russ, you can do it. You're a Melchizedek priesthood holder. You can do the sacrament all by yourself. You don't need the church. You don't need the bishop. You don't have to be at church to do it. The Book of Mormon is full of examples. The scriptures, the New Testament Gospels, are full of examples of not having a church to do the sacrament. When you understand the origin from the Egyptian religion about the sacrament, ta-da, no more problems. And that is part of this series. I will be going over that for you. I've already done it on the other channel, though. My goodness, I may not get to the movie. Alright, and live your life in harmony with the laws and commandments of the gospel. Which gospel? Whose? Joseph's? I do. How about you, Mormons? Do you strive to be honest in all that you do? Oops, all Mormons are now disqualified again. Because every Mormon apologetic, Kwaku, are you listening? I gave you the key of translator and you threw it away. Plagiarism in the Book of Mormon is proof of its truth. I will never let him live that down. Never, ever, ever. And so, yes, I'm sure that the bad Mormon boys are listening, and they're going to get back to Kwaku. Kwaku, he teased you. Yeah, I know. He's been doing that for years now. Just stay away from him. He's evil. Kwaku! And so, now, are you sure Brigham wasn't racist? Or he was? So how was he inspired by Jesus? Kwaku! Is the church still racist, or can they just turn it off? Kwaku! So again, Mormons lie. Every single missionary that goes out, they lie. I went over here how you guys are lying. We're not Jesus Christ Church. We're not Christian. Our Christ is named Amun. Ours is a restoration of the Egyptian religion. There was no Jesus. He's an apocalyptic literature fiction character about the latter-day Christ that the Jews are looking for, too. You are lying to people because you're stuck in this. And so you cannot be honest. And again, you cannot defend the church. because you lose. I use Joseph Smith in his scriptures in the Book of Mormon, and you lose. You fail to defend the church. That has been the one comment when I used to reply to Mormons who attacked me, as I'd quote a Book of Mormon passage, quote the Doctrine and Covenants, and then they go silent. And they run away. Because I won. You cannot beat me. You cannot beat Joseph Smith, Mormons. If you pit any of the prophets against Joseph Smith, you lose. I chose the right person. You chose the wrong person. And then here's the protection racket. Are you a full tithe payer? That is for worthiness. You have to pay money in order to be worthy. What did Jesus do? That character Jesus at the temple when he saw money changers? What did he do? Mormons. 11. Do you understand and obey the word of wisdom? Yeah, it's a word of wisdom. I understand it is just a word of wisdom and it is nothing to obey. I will drink my Mountain Dew and chocolate and you will not stop me. See how screwed up Mormons got? $12. Do you have any financial? This was put in by me too. Technically, the first X. She had complained with the ceiling cancellation to justify it, and I responded back with, it was sad when she did this to me, it was sad when she did that to me, it was sad when she did this to me, you know, and she was sad when I saw her take the children away. It was sad that she abandoned me. It was sad that, you know, that's how I replied, because her bishop sent me a letter saying, you need to tell us your feelings about her wanting to cancel the ceiling. So I told my feelings. It was sad. And so, yes, the prophets never grant a ceiling cancellation unless there is a remarriage or such a severe criminal act to justify it. So, who committed the crime? Stephanie. So yes, this was put in after us. That was President Hinckley who put this in. Do you have any financial or other obligations to a former spouse or to children? See how much of an influence I've been in your lives? This is just yet another one. And this isn't even from the scriptures. If yes, are you current in meeting those obligations? Hilarious. And she even came after me in the second marriage with the bishop. I had to get her permission to marry again, because that was a new change under Monson. And the bishop saying, we finally got the letter back from Stephanie, and she's grateful that you're able to move on with your life. But the first presidency then sent me a letter saying that she sent them a letter saying that you weren't meeting your obligation here. She was trying to destroy my moving along with my life. And so I had to call Office of Recovery Services, and they said, we don't have a file for you. I know that. I need you to print out and send me a document stating that. Okay, I think we can do that. And so, yeah, our ceiling was rushed right through, thanks to somebody not being honest in all her dealings, and still sticking with the church. She doesn't want anything to do with the church. She milks the church for her lifestyle. Dear God, and they let her get away with it. She is not a believer. 13. Do you keep the covenants that you made in the temple? I haven't been yet. But again, this is renewal question. And so you already know now that polygamy is what they mean by the Law of Chastity. Including wearing the temple garment as instructed in the endowment. It's not in the endowment. Per se, they sort of include the initiatories as the endowment. They screwed up Joseph. That's all there is to it. The initiatories is where you are instructed to wear the garment. Inasmuch as you do not defile it, but are true and faithful to your covenants, it will be a shield and a protection to you against the power of the destroyer until you have finished your work on the earth. Magic! So we're getting to that. But yeah, you have to wear your magic underwear or you're not worthy to enter in the temple. So you have to wear it in the shower. You have to wear it during sex. You have to wear it at the beach. Because you'll get sunburned where you don't wear the magic underwear. Oh my goodness. Are there serious sins in your life? Yeah, I belong to the Church of the Devil. Oh, no. You can do that. I did that. I did the handbook videos and nobody cared. You can belong to the Church of the Devil now. And they don't even have this. Oh, that's participate in another blah, blah, blah. But in the handbook, it says, we do not punish, but we discourage. If you belong to the Church of the Devil. Oh my God! You can rape and they discourage it, but you're still a worthy member. Oh my God! And other atrocities. I mean, a handbook. Oh dear God. Did they not think there was a reason why it was a sacred secret from the public? There was a reason why they sued the Tanners for having them, for their putting it online for everybody to see. And they just release it? Oh my God! And so it's a question, are there serious sins in your life that need to be resolved with priesthood authorities as part of your repentance? And again, nope, I'm good. Nothing here. Move along. And 15, do you consider yourself worthy to enter into the house of... Yep. I participate in the temple ordinances. I'm telling you, that girl in that repentance video, you just say no and move on to your eternal happiness, your lasting happiness. As the Latino girl was having lasting happiness. Good for her. So, yep, we're exposing the temple. And that gives you a preview, an hour and a half preview. Dear God. But yeah, Mormons are unworthy. And they don't see it.